On the road with a motorbike, hanging around between the mountains, coast to coast, you know how to drive. Dragonflies around the sunset, can you believe we're together? We're celebrating September. What do you mean it's forever? Forever is a time to be with you. Playing games, show me how you jump off a cliff into the water. Taxi boat, where's that behind? Rainbow rain in every color. We go around the island. What do you mean it's a one way? We're in the middle of nowhere, and all we wanna do is fall in love. Yeah.
Synchronise, like if you clap a few times. Okay, so what I'm going to do in a second is get the weather. We'll just check the databases are up to date, which they are. Just so you know, I need to remember to tell you this, to turn on the headset, there's an on button, and that'll turn on noise cancelling. You done it?
I've turned that on.
Good, okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, like I was saying, when I'm in the run-up bay and doing some stuff down there, you can press that Bluetooth.
Connected
Oh, you've done it, wow. Yeah, very good. Okay.
They are very noise cancelling, I agree.
They're pretty good, aren't they? Yeah. Not cheap, these aviation headsets. Cost a fair bit, a couple of grand each.
Paying.
On the number
Yes, he is right. Check.
Thanks, Tango. Good morning. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is the Baron. We're IFR, Bankstown and Mudgee. 2 POB, taxis Kilo, received Bravo, request taxi now, clearance.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, taxi to the Alpha West run-up bay, report reading the bay, will advise clearance.
Taxi to the Alpha West run-up bay, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, Wilco.
We go over here to the run-up bay.
Like that.
Yeah, we'll take off that way, yep. There's a little bit of pre-run-up and checks that we've got to run through, which always takes a little while. But just relax and we'll get through it soon. It'll be a fairly busy flight because it's a fairly short flight, but we'll have plenty of time on the ground. Have more of a chat once we get out of the plane. And we'll probably have 5 minutes or so in the cruise.
No, then coming down.
Yeah, it's a short en route segment really.
The holding point.
It's yeah, they call it a run-up bay, so you basically can run the engines up here, so you're not causing too much noise, and you know, it's generally a cleaner area because you don't want to get your props damaged and things like that. So I'll just run through all these checks. You got your music going? Has it worked? Good. Okay, so what I'm checking now is I'm just going to check the alternators. So what we do is we over the system page, you can see the alternator loads and the bus voltages. They're 2 separate buses, 2 separate alternators. So I'm going to turn off the left alternator. And what we're checking is that it should drop to 0 and you should get an alarm, which you don't, but it's a known issue. We have 25 volts now, so that's now just reading the battery voltage on that bus. And then there's a bus tie, so it'll come up and tell me buses are tied, and now we're getting the alternator from the right side feeding the left. Yep. And you can see this alternator load's gone up, and it basically should be able to hold that load, and it can. So we switch it back on and we do the other on the other side. This one will give an alarm. That's what you get if an alternator fails. Bus voltage. Bus tied. And we can see this one's picking up the load. And so no issues there. Check back on.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, clearance.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, go ahead.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, cleared. Mudgee via Cadam, flight plan route, Bankstown 8 departure, climb via Sydney 3000, squawk 1457.
Clear to Mudgee via Cadam, flight plan route, Bankstown 8 departure, climb via Sydney 3000, squawk 1457. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, reporter in the bay.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
First thing I'm going to do is run up to 1,700 RPM. Everything's in the green, just make sure it stays in the green.
Lagging.
Maybe move your microphone a little bit closer, just so.
It's lagging slightly.
Yeah, it's because they're separately controlled.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you got to kind of try to get them about the same. So that's pretty close. And what we're checking now is the mags. So it's basically spark plug systems to the engines. So we're switching them, and instead of a car having one, an aircraft has two per cylinder and two separate independent systems. So I'm going to switch them over to the left. What we're seeing is how much does it drop. And it drops less than 50, roughly 50-ish. Back to both, and it should come back to where it was. It does. We'll go over to the right. And so again, a similar drop, and so they're not, it's not sort of badly running on one set of mags, essentially. To left, and both back to both, and we get back to the numbers we were seeing before. Now what we're going to do is run it up to 2,200 RPM. We're going to check the propeller pitch control. Once you're over 2,000 RPM, the propeller's then on the governor, so basically you can then control the propeller pitch using these controls. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it one at a time. We'll bring the left one back, and you should see the RPM will drop. The manifold pressure will increase. RPM's dropping back to 2,000. Manifold pressure's increased, and the oil pressure should be fairly stable, which it is, because it uses oil to do that, oil pressure. And there's no oil leaking out of the engine or spitting over the cowl. So we're just checking that. You can just exercise it a couple of times to make sure it. And we'll do the same on the right. So right comes back. 2,000. Pressure's good. Do that a couple of times. That looks good. And then we'll bring it back and do. It's called a feather check. So if you do have an engine failure, basically feather the propeller, which essentially turns it to minimum drag.
Request taxi.
So that it doesn't windmill so much. It just basically sits into the wind so that it's kind of just turned so that it's, you know what I mean? And we do that at 1,500 RPM.
Foxtrot Tango, Quebec, taxi via Alpha 1 Juliet Echo, report reading the Bravo.
It's a little bit more stressful on the propeller and the engine, so you don't want to have the RPM too high for this. And so what we do is just bring it right back.
Foxtrot Tango,
it drops right down.
Foxtrot Tango, Quebec, taxi via Alpha 1 Juliet Echo.
Goes to feather. You don't want to have more than about 300 drop on that. The last check is to check that engines will idle. About basically conking out. Do. To about 1,000. Those checks are all good. Going to bring this right back. So full right, and free. Moving in the right direction. It's moving in the right direction that way. That's good. I won't. Unlikely I'll be moving at that extreme, but you can just see how far it can actually need to move, right? So particularly during takeoff and landing, you just got to kind of make sure that's nice and clear. Okay, doors and windows are secure. I've got a window here which is secure, and you've got a door there which is secure, and that's this position. So let's try that. So what we should be able to do is go to our flight for today, which is this one, using Foreflight, and then we can send that to the map, which goes to the map on here. That's our route today, and we can check it looks right. It does. And then we can
India Papa
actually send that to the panel.
correction at
Foreflight plans pending. It's interesting. Let's enter. Bankstown, Cadam.
India Papa Delta taxi Alpha 1 Juliet Echo and Bravo to the Bravo Rendezvous. Alpha 1 Juliet Echo to Bravo Rendezvous. India Papa Delta.
Procedure for departure as well. We've got a Bankstown 8 departure, runway 29 centre, load. And that all looks good, Cadam. And boom, Mudgee. That saves a lot of time, because you can put, send it across Bluetooth.
Mudgee with an I.
Yeah, it's just a waypoint, they call it. All these funny waypoint names. Alright, so we'll just do a check around here now. So what we do is just make sure it looks sensible, what it's going to do, and this is the departure we've just loaded. 1328's the tower, 1184's departures, Sydney departures, which we'll talk to once we take off. 1199 is ground, and 120.9 is the ATIS, which we've got. 3000 is what we've been assigned as our initial altitude. This should be indicating pretty close to the aerodrome altitude 2 times, and it is. 1026 is set. This is bugged on the runway heading. This is pointing in the direction that makes sense for our departure. This is showing us GPS departure mode. The traffic looks good, although I might just zoom that in a little bit because we've got a lot of close-in traffic around the airport here. PFD options, I can put that on GPS, so it points to the next waypoint. And I'll get the timer ready to go. The scoreboard looks good. I've checked all. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is ready in the bay.
Whiskey Whiskey Fox Echo, just go wait to the Cherokee on your left, they'll be for the runner bay, then taxi via Alpha 3, enter 29 on right to holding point. Cushion, taxi via Alpha 3, hold short of runway right.
Taxi via Alpha 3, hold short, runway right. Whiskey Fox Echo.
Whiskey Fox Echo and taxi via 29 on right to holding point Alpha 8, 29 centre, contact tower.
Taxi via 29 right to holding point Alpha 8 and hold short of the runway centre, contact tower. Whiskey Fox Echo. Bankstown Tower, Whiskey Fox Echo, holding point Alpha 8, ready.
Whiskey Fox Echo, tower, line up runway centre.
Line up runway centre, Whiskey Fox Echo.
Okay, so landing lights come on now, and we've got our strobe on as well. And parking brake is released, clear left, clear right.
Get you to line up and then you...
Yeah, sometimes I'll clear you to take off straight away,
Okay.
and other times I'll clear you to line up and wait. Approach sector's clear, and we don't really have any wind accounted for, but we might put the fleet on.
November, Mike.
Heats on, just in case we go into that.
Whiskey Fox Echo, report passing 1,500, runway 29 centre, clear for takeoff.
29 centre, clear for takeoff, and Wilco, Whiskey Fox Echo.
Okay, ready to go?
Absolutely.
So we're just going to check the powers. Just 2,000, everything's in the green. Release the brakes, and off we go. Okay, everything's in the green. Speed's alive. 50 knots across deck. Number 85. Is 85 and rotate. 100 knots, positive brake, you're up. Your light off, you're down the wrong.
November, Mike, runway left, clear touch and go.
Check orders and we'll be on back.
100 feet, just check flags are up, they are. Okay, 500 feet, we can bring the power back to the thing out. Not above our max. And bring the arm again back. At 800 feet order policy, come on. Ready? And we'll go to flight of change. Down a little bit. And I go heading to the mode. And we're on. Good. The next thing is to report passing 1,500, which is what he's asked me to do. Whiskey Fox Echo is passing 1,500.
Whiskey Fox Echo, contact Sydney departures 18.4, good day.
18.4, Whiskey Fox Echo, good day. City departures, Whiskey Fox Echo, Bankstown 8 departure, passing 1,900 for 3,000.
Whiskey Fox Echo departures identified, climb via Sid 5,000 and leaving 3,000, clear direct Cadam.
Climb bus hit 5,000 and from 3,000 clear direct Cadam, Whiskey Fox Echo. Okay.
Pretty sensational, isn't it?
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Very nice. It looks like we're going to go through some cloud and we're going to sit on some cloud here. So that should be nice as well. Let's do our after takeoff checks. Rotation speed landing gear. All that was good. Climb. Power set. So we've got full power for the climb. Propellers are 2,500 RPM. Throttles are fully forward. Prop sync I'm not going to use. Mixtures. We can start bringing the mixture back. So there's a little guidance here, the cyan markers, which tell you what the sort of optimal fuel.
Just less fuel going.
A little bit less fuel into the engine. As you get high, you need the air is less dense, and so you need less fuel to achieve the same fuel-air mixture. But equally, you get less power out of the engine. Get a couple of bumps from the clouds. There we go. Right, we just sort of skim through the top of this one. It should be all right. Cow flaps stay open. Speed, we might increase the speed a little bit once we get over this. Engine temps are good. Lights can come off now. Rope stays on. Taxi lights are already off. Transponder looks good. Frequencies are set. And boost pumps aren't required. Next checks are the cruise checks. Autopilot's on, yaw damper's on. Flight level change is basically a climb mode that it's in. So it's climbing at 1250 feet a minute up to 10,000. And we're passing 5,400. And our speed that we've set for the climb is 136 knots. We're going to look at doing this approach. So we're going to have a brief of that now. Mudgee, it's the GNSS arrival. You can tune in a couple of things. So the CTAF is the common frequency. There's no control tower there. It's all done by pilots talking to each other on a common frequency.
Really?
Basically separating. Yeah, and it's almost every airport's like that. Most people assume there's an air traffic control, but there's not. It's just pilots talking to each other, except at the big airports. 1267, FIA V13305, we'll do that later. Don't have an NDB.
Just seeing who's on the ground or...
yeah, you can see traffic on the map here, that's one thing. But you look for traffic on the map, you look for traffic visually is the other big one, and you listen on the right frequency, and you communicate your intentions. And then if other aircraft are conflicting, you kind of just work it out between you. We can do it in terms of our vertical profile to descent. Because you could be, we're in cloud for part of it probably, so you can't see, so you need to basically do an instrument approach.
It doesn't look that thick though, it seems a layer, doesn't it?
It's a thin layer. It's only around 3,000 feet or so at Mudgee, so with the airport being 1,500 feet, you sort of don't have too much below the cloud, so you want to make sure you're flying an approach, yeah. You're just blasting through it and hope that it turns out good on the other side. And then what it does is it calculates, so it's hard, that one's hard coded by me, these are calculated. So it goes, I think you'll be at 3,800 at Mudgee minus 3 miles, and I look at that and go, 3,800 is not high enough, I'm going to be below 4,000. I'm not allowed to be below 4,000. The reason for that is the actual angle that's been set. The angle is 1.5, the angle it should be 3 degrees. So when I increase that to 3 degrees, it'll be closer. I'll go a little bit more than 3 just to make sure. Now when we look at it, Mudgee minus 3 miles is now 4,000, which is where we want to be.
Yeah.
And Mudgee minus 5 miles is 4,700 instead of 4,630. So it's a little bit higher, which we want to be higher rather than lower. So I'm happy with that. So I've set my profile for descent. What it will calculate, once we're in the cruise, which we nearly are now.
We're nearly there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, contact Melbourne Centre, 118.5.
Melbourne Centre, 118.5, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. Melbourne Centre, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is levelling off 10,000.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, Melbourne Centre, Erie QNH 1025.
1025, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. Back in the RPM off to about 2,300.
Nearly at Katoomba.
Yep. Unfortunately, you won't see it. You won't see much. But it looks like the cloud does clear again on the other side of the mountains. It's like, you got to be careful with these kind of controls. Like, you know, literally pulling these all the way back will kill the engine.
Very gentle.
It'll kill the engine, yeah. You want to just do things gently. That fuel flow is good there. Alright, so boost pumps are off and mixtures are set, and we're cruising now. Everything's set. True airspeed's increasing now through 181. It'll keep increasing for a little bit. Altimeters are set 1025. I don't have the weather for Mudgee yet. We do need to get that. I can do a quick check of the weather for Mudgee. So I can get it digitally, but I'm not allowed to use this for an instrument approach. So what we get is the METAR, which was 33 minutes ago. There might be an update. And it was 1025. So it's good just to know. This is the basically the air pressure at sea level. So you're getting, and it changes all the time. So, and then everything is based off that. So your altitude is based off getting that right. So if you get that wrong, you're going to be, you know, flying into a mountain. So it's pretty fundamental.
Smile.
Hey. This is very easy.
It's good, isn't it?
Right, so this is our plan from Mudgee to Bankstown, and what we'll do is we'll send it over to the map. Looks good, and now we'll send that over to the panel.
Similar route back, straight to the timber.
Similar route back, yep. Activate that. And we'll actually activate that leg. Mudgee to Bamboo. Prospect. Bankstown. Might have to load a approach in depending on the cloud. It looks like some low cloud. Mudgee traffic, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is a Baron. We're taxiing for runway 04. We'll hold short of the, wait for the aircraft in the pattern. Mudgee.
Mudgee traffic, no Mike, wind 04, touch and go, Mudgee.
He's doing a touch and go. If he was doing a full stop, I'd probably wait here and let him come in.
Yep. Touch and go's not actually landing.
Baron, you copy that. You'll be able to enter as soon as we do the touch and go. We'll extend upwind.
Copy, thanks. We'll wait for you to touch and go, and then we'll enter the runway then. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, touch and go is we touch down, and then you go straight away.
I gotcha.
Yep. Okay, air conditioning's off, flaps are set, full. Hanging lights and strobe lights as we're about to enter the runway. We're going to hang here for a minute, wait for him to come back around. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is entering and backtracking runway 04 Mudgee.
How far down the runway do you officially have to go?
Well, you need to factor in your takeoff distance required, but you'd be pretty silly to not use the whole runway, because if you have an engine failure, you want to have someone around you. So, pretty much always use the whole runway. I mean, really big runways, like the Gold Coast or something, air traffic control might want you to take an intersection.
Thirds or something.
Yeah, a shorter version, but generally at these regional ones, you just take the whole runway. Right, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, runway's clear. Mudgee traffic, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is rolling, runway 04, Mudgee.
On the road with a motorbike, hanging around between the mountains, coast to coast, you know how to drive. Dragonflies around the sunset.
Mudgee traffic, no Mike Yankee, let down wind 04 for touch and go.
Okay, 5, time.
What do you mean it's forever?
Being with the grain.
Forever is a time to be with you.
5, rotate.
Playing games, show me how you jump off a cliff into the water.
Okay, positive brake.
Rainbow rain in every color. We go around the island. What do you mean it's a one way? We're in the middle of nowhere, and all we wanna do is fall in love. Yeah.
300, just 6 bucks are up.
All I wanna do is fall in love. All I wanna do is all I wanna do is fall in love with you. All I wanna do is fall in love, yeah. All I wanna do is do the ha 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 ha. All I wanna do is fall in love with you.
Q-Link 1, Sydney Delta, contact center 127.2, expect star clearance, g'day.
You can hear your traffic control again now. That's just airborne now, so we're picking it up. And Mudgee traffic, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. We are overflying the field at 3,800 and departing to the southeast. Mudgee. Brisbane Centre, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, departure report, Mudgee.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, center.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, departed Mudgee, time 42.
Mudgee traffic, no Mike Yankee, downwind 04, touch and go, Mudgee.
And Benboo, time 02. And tracking 141.
Squawk 1037, no reported IFR traffic. Identified, area QNH 1024.
1024, Squawk 1037, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, contact Melbourne Centre 118.5 for clearance. G'day.
Melbourne Centre on 118.5, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, g'day. Melbourne Centre, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is on climb passing 6,200 for 90,000.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo identified, cleared to Bankstown via KDOM or Benboo flight plan route, climb to 90,000.
Clear to Bankstown via Benboo flight plan route, climb 90,000, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Safety alert Bathurst, November Alpha Yankee and Alpha Hotel X-ray, opposite direction to the north of Bathurst. November Alpha Yankee just airborne, Alpha Hotel X-ray, 3 miles to the north of Bathurst. Safety alert Bathurst.
We'll just turn our heats on, we're about to enter some cloud.
Tower traffic, flight level 160.
Killing 40 Delta, sir.
We don't need on anymore.
57, carry traffic.
Autopilot's taken over now?
Yeah, we're flying on autopilot now.
Safety alert Bathurst, November Alpha Yankee, suggest a left-hand turn immediately.
Whilst he's not controlling the aircraft, he's seeing 2 aircraft on a collision path and he's issuing them a safety alert.
How far away would they be?
I don't know actually, probably a couple of miles away from each other. But
Killing 40 Delta, turn
closer.
left 5 degrees. Traffic above, heavy traffic above.
Left 5 degrees, killing 40 Delta.
Done quite a bit of flying literally through heavy cloud most of the time?
Yeah. It's a good way to test you. You really lose your sort of orientation for which way's up, down and whatever. I mean, these are very thin layers, so you sort of punch through it pretty quick. But sometimes you're just in it for an hour or hour and a half and you're just kind of just in the cloud continuously. It's interesting. It's good to do it. It really builds your skills, I think.
And your confidence probably as well.
Yep.
They're not taking us up to 10,000 this time, just 9.
I filed 9, yeah. So different directions is evens and odds. So if you're heading in a westerly direction, basically, you do evens, and if you're heading in an easterly direction, you do odds. It just provides a separation.
We'd like to amend our off normal time.
If you're flying IFR, you fly whole numbers, and if you're flying VFR, under the visual rules, you fly 500s. So 9,500 or 8,500.
Thank you.
Just Whiskey 209, no
some level of separation.
10 orange.
Kilometres, cloud scattered 4,000, temperature 21, QNH 1024.
Scattered at 4,000 might be right. Could just be built up over the mountains here and then calm down again.
That's our timings to
different waypoints, yeah. So Benboo's the first one. We got 0.7 of a mile to go, and we'll be there at 0204, which is now. And then it starts the turn early. It doesn't need to do a turn. It's basically straight to Tatum, the next one. It's 35 miles away. There it is. That's the track 141. It calculates what the fuel will be when we get there. And
the unknown, is that because they've not identified themselves?
Yeah, that conversation. Yeah, it usually I didn't quite pick up on it, but usually VFR aircraft they don't know what they're doing. They're not under air traffic control. They're just doing whatever they want. So they often say things like random manoeuvres, intentions unknown, because they don't know what they're doing. Whereas IFR is far more strict. You're under lodge a flight plan. You're generally under air traffic control. You got to fly in certain. You can't just fly wherever you want. You get the protection of air traffic control for the most part, anyway. At least in controlled airspace. Melbourne Centre, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo request.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Request from Tatum. Track direct to the Bankstown Whiskey Bravo for the RMP 11 Centre.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo will advise, and you are cleared now to leave controlled airspace on track. Requirement to be outside controlled airspace, 5 miles north of Chatham.
Outside controlled airspace, 5 miles north of Chatham, and clear to leave controlled airspace on descent, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. Alright, 4 miles, 4 minutes top of descent. Quickly running through this. A rain check. Just checking the integrity of the satellite, basically reception at the time we get to Bankstown. Which looks good. Aim, Morse, go round, automation. Work, descent. Landing data is received, enunciator check. That'll be fine, I'll be outside of controlled airspace. Circling area is not relevant for this. Combat complete, runway lighting's not relevant. Parking brakes released, brake pressure's good. Engines in the green. Landing lights, let's get them on now, out of the way. Cowl flaps are closed for descent. Temperatures are good. Altimeter's set, 1024. We'll check that, 1024, we're set for descent. Now we're coming back on the power now. We'll just keep the mixture increasing as we descend. Okay, so we're bringing the power back, getting ready for the descent. We've bugged 7,500, we arm VNAV, V-pass white. GPS is green, autopilot, yaw damper, so it looks good. 5 miles north of Academy wants me outside of controlled airspace, and I will be. This is 12.5 to 15.5. What's that there? 7.5 to 8.5.
6528, park, cancel Sandwich and no beacon heard on 121.
Vertical track.
Track 6528, Roger, park Sandwich terminated, thank you.
Could put an ATK offset minus 5 miles and just see what I'll be 8,300. So he wants me under 8,500 by 5 miles, that's fine.
Added that extra line.
Yep. And it's because it's white, it's just calculating, estimating that's what you'll be at that point. I'm not hard coding a constraint.
When that turns over, we'll start to feel.
Yep. 20 seconds to go. The V-bar's coming down. Full flow is good. V-pass capturing.
Rapid Sensor, Uniform November Alpha's airborne Bathurst. Request traffic for 7,000.
Uniform November Alpha, no, put up traffic 7,000.
Now we're in descent.
Uniform left
Trying to keep that power.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, leave controlled airspace now.
On descent now, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
His system's also telling him that I need to leave now to be out by there, but we've already got that programmed and it's fine. He's got like an airliner or something coming through, which is why he wants me out 5 miles before, yeah. It's fine.
Class Charlie below in 6.9 miles.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, contact Sydney Centre 124.55. They've got your request for Whiskey Bravo.
124.55, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, thanks. Sydney Centre, Whiskey Foxtrot Echoes on descent through 8,300.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, Sydney Centre, g'day. There's no IFR traffic tracking Chatham, Bankstown, Whiskey Bravo on descent. Report when visual.
Chatham, Whiskey Bravo on descent, and Wilco, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Richmond.
Vertical track.
3,000, cleared direct.
Alright, so we've activated the approach now, Whiskey Bravo. Initial approach fixed, GPS is green. And Whiskey Bravo, there it is. So we're tracking straight to Whiskey Bravo. And the one thing to watch out for is this bit of restricted airspace here.
X-ray 3, Victor Squawk 3416.
Is it restricted? Is it army? Or?
Yeah, it's. I think it might be a shooting range or something like that.
Don't get bored on a short flight, do you? Because there's so much to do.
It's full on. It's full on, yeah. Very busy.
I believe we're only 8 minutes away.
I know.
Sierra Kilo Hotel, copy.
Everything happens really fast,
I'll
especially in
just
these
confirm Richmond can
fast
take
winds.
the practice ILS request, and if so, I'll have a clearance and code for you.
Thank you.
X-ray 3 Victor, identify, verify level.
Cloud's a bit thicker here.
X-ray 3 Victor, east to the bridge, contact departures 123.0.
East of the ridge, departures 1230, X-ray 3 Victor.
5,025 miles.
Flight on 214, contact Melbourne Centre 135.25.
5,000.
125, Australia request track direction, flight my final 11 Centre.
Alpha Hotel X-ray, there's no reported or observed traffic.
Right, we've got our de-icing on. Water's running at liquid water, temperature 4 degrees. Another aircraft about 200 above us.
Okay. Should we heading to Sydney Airport?
Probably, or, yeah. Could be coming our way, actually. Be leaving. Yeah, 15 miles, Richmond.
Sierra Kilo Hotel, Squawk 7226.
7226, Sierra Kilo Hotel.
25 miles.
Sierra Kilo Hotel identified, verify level.
Sierra Kilo Hotel is passing 1,800, climbing 4,000.
Sierra Kilo Hotel, you can expect a clearance at 3,000. There's no IFR traffic, and you are cleared direct to Richmond at 3,000 for Richmond QNH 1024.
Direct Richmond 3,000, 1024, Sierra Kilo Hotel.
Qantas 19, contact Brisbane Centre 133.0.
Okay, we're becoming visual.
330, Qantas 19.
3,700. Now we're 6 degrees, becoming visual. Let's get the icing gear off. Right, we've just made it under that step. We had to be 4,500 under that step there, which we've done. Now we're visual now, we can go all the way down to 2,500. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is visual.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, thank you.
Right. Wind 050 degrees, 8 knots. Max and crosswind 10 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometres. Cloud broken 4,800. Temperature 20, QNH 1024. On first contact with Bankstown Ground All Town, notify receipt of information Golf.
Okay, we've got the updated weather. Okay, 25 is what we've got. 25, Whiskey Bravo. Moving the speed down.
Landing has come straight in.
Yeah, that's Bankstown Airport over there in the distance, the sort of open area. This is Prospect Reservoir here. 4 running down there. You might have seen the new airport actually. And we'll use this level segment to get our gear and flap and cow flaps actually.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, there's no observed traffic for descent tracking via the RMP. Remain clear of Class Delta. Whiskey India, contact Bankstown Tower 132.8. Identification terminated.
Remain clear of Class Delta, contact tower at Whiskey India on 1328. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. Okay, let's get that over there.
Vertical track.
It's good.
Mid-downwind for the southern runway.
Our flaps. Bankstown Tower, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is the Baron. We're at approaching Whiskey India, 2,500 inbound with Golf and visual.
Okay, thanks for 3 miles.
Wilco, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. Mile 1780, pretty close.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, you're number 2 following a Cherokee, you're 12 o'clock, 3.5 miles.
Looking for traffic, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo. Alright, you can help me by looking out for an aircraft in front of us, landing on that centre runway, the most visible one. It'll be sort of back a little bit. Reds, greens, blues, and flap, and flap.
Extra Alpha Romeo going around.
Extra Alpha Romeo.
2 miles. 3 miles now. Whiskey Foxtrot Echo is on a 3 mile final.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, number 2.
Number 2, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Julia Quebec Oscar, runway centre, clear to land.
Runway centre, clear to land. Julia Quebec Oscar.
Bankstown Tower, Warrior Lima, X-ray Juliet, holding short on runway 11 on account of
final now, it's short.
Request ready for a downwind.
Speed's good.
X-ray Juliet, hold position.
Hold position, Lima, X-ray Juliet.
Reds, greens, blues, flap, flap, flap.
2 mile final runway 11 right. Minimums.
Continue.
500.
A bit of wind from the left.
I can feel it.
Julia Quebec Oscar, expedite vacate next left please, enter runway left, contact ground.
Next left, enter runway left, contact ground. Julia Quebec Oscar.
They're out of our way.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, runway centre, clear to land.
Good land, runway centre, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.
Can you believe we're together? We're celebrating September. What do you mean it's forever? Forever is the time to be with you. Playing games, show me how you jump off a cliff.
X-ray Juliet, line up runway centre.
Line up runway centre, Lima, X-ray Juliet.
Brakes on pretty quick, I need to get out there.
Yeah.
Whiskey Foxtrot Echo, enter runway left, contact ground.
Enter runway left, contact ground, Whiskey Foxtrot Echo.